This video was brought to you by Nebula. Sign up using the link below to access exclusive content and an ad-free experience. There's a lot of news going on at the moment. You've got the ongoing war in Ukraine, a global food and fuel shortage, and a record-breaking heatwave in Western Europe. However, while this has all been going on, the European Commission has been busy taking Hungary to court yet again for two new laws. One relating to press freedom and one relating to sexual equality. So, in this video, we'll take a look at just what Hungary's done to end up in court once again, what might happen next, and whether or not this will move Hungary just that bit closer to the exit door. If you like our videos, then be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified whenever we post a video. And it helps us get even closer to 500,000 subscribers. Before diving into the most recent developments, we should explain a bit about Hungary's recent and fraught history with the EU. For those of you that don't know, Hungary is no stranger to getting on the wrong side of the European Commission. In the past 10 years, Hungary and the EU have had multiple legal spats focused on two policy areas: asylum procedure and the rule of law. There have been two big asylum cases, the first coming in December 2015 when the European Commission opened up the so-called infringement procedure against Hungary concerning an infamous Hungarian asylum law which forced asylum seekers to leave Hungarian territory within a certain time frame. At the time, the Commission argued that the law was incompatible with EU law, in that it failed to respect the right of interpretation and translation when it comes to criminal proceedings related to asylum. The second asylum case came in July 2018, when the Commission stepped up a gear and referred Hungary to the Court of Justice of the European Union, or CJEU, over its asylum laws. Specifically, its Stop Soros law, which criminalised any assistance offered by any person on behalf of national, international and non-governmental organisations to people wishing to apply for asylum or a residency permit in Hungary. The other EU-Hungary legal disputes have revolved around the rule of law. This first came up in 2018, when the European Parliament voted to pursue unprecedented disciplinary action against Hungary over its rule of law shortcomings, with over 2/3 of MEPs voting to censure the country. In its ruling, the Parliament noted key concerns in 5 areas: the fundamental of the constitutional and electoral system, the independence of the judiciary, corruption and conflicts of interest, freedom of expression, religion and association, and the rights of persons belonging to minorities. The vote ultimately pulled the trigger on the EU's so-called nuclear option, Article 7 of the Treaty of the European Union, which allows the EU to suspend a member state's voting rights. Now, while little progress has been made on this front, in large part due to the fact that Article 7 requires unanimity amongst other member states to be effective, the EU have instead implemented the so-called rule of law conditionality mechanism, which made a number of payments conditional on Hungary meeting the rule of law obligations. Anyway, you get the idea. Hungary has a long list of legal tangles with the EU. This list looks to get even longer, however, because the European Commission is preparing to take Hungary to the CJEU again, this time over two new and separate issues: press freedom restrictions and a law regarding sexual equality. Let's start with press freedom. Last year, after Prime Minister Viktor Orban's government passed a controversial law giving it control over radio licenses, it tried to revoke the license of a station highly critical to the government. This station took the government's media board to court in order to try and get its license back. But thanks to the fact that the Hungarian judicial reforms have given the government undue influence over the courts, the radio station lost its appeal and license. The European Commission believes that Hungary's decision concerning this radio station is in breach of EU law for failing to assign the right to use radio frequencies on the basis of objective, transparent, non-discriminatory and proportionate criteria, and so has taken Hungary to the CJEU for breaching the European Electronic Communications Code. The second dispute, this time relating to sexual equality, is concerning a law that was published in June 2021 and sought to prohibit or limit access to content that, quote, propagates or portrays the so-called divergence from self-identity corresponding to sex at birth, sex change, or homosexuality for individuals under 18. In effect, the law entailed that any content that might be available to under 18s could only portray heterosexual activity. As you'd expect, this law hasn't gone down too well with the EU. Back in July 2021, i.e. just a month after the law was published, the European Parliament voted overwhelmingly to, again, censure Hungary for breaching, quote, EU values, principles and law. True to form, Orban responded by saying that school policy is a matter for Hungary, not Brussels bureaucrats. More recently, the Commission has decided to take Hungary to court over the law, arguing that it violates at least 4 EU directives, and at least 5 rights recognised by the EU, including the right to data protection, the inviolability of human dignity, the right to freedom of expression, the right to private and family life, and the right to non-discrimination. You get the idea. The EU really don't like the law, and they think it violates pre-existing EU law in multiple respects. So, what's going to happen next? Well, no one really knows, but it's clear that European patience is wearing thin. As this script was being written, the European Commission launched yet another infringement procedure against Hungary for discriminatory fuel pricing against vehicles with foreign licence plates, a measure in breach of the EU's single market rules. The EU's third annual Rule of Law report, published just a few days ago, accused Hungary of violating 24 separate rule of law violations. What is sure is that, for now, Hungary will remain a member of the EU. While the EU has already suspended some cash heading Hungary's way, there is no mechanism to actually force the country out of the EU out of its own volition. And despite the rhetoric, no one in Hungary wants to leave the EU. A survey back in 2020 put support for EU membership at 85%. Even amongst backers of Viktor Orban, support was 77%. And despite the fraught relationship, the EU is a major benefit for Orban as both a scapegoat and occasional benefactor. If you want more from TLDR, then check out our exclusive videos on Nebula. We've got explainers on Ukraine's alliances and Europe's lack of leadership, discussions about Europe forcing Apple to use USB-C, and the UK's leadership race, and fun videos like our blooper reel and office tour. Not only that, but you'll get all of our regular videos ad-free, and often earlier than YouTube. If you're interested, I have good news, because we've partnered with CuriosityStream, the home to the best documentaries online. Thanks to them, you can get both streaming services, CuriosityStream for the docs and Nebula for bonus TLDR, for less than $15 a year. That's a wild deal, and a 26% discount on their already low price. So get yourself a ton of documentaries and exclusive content from your favourite creators, including the Daily Briefing Extended Edition, by signing up using the link below. Thanks for your support.